Welcome to day 9 of the 30-day wholesaling challenge. Today's video, I'm going to go through the tips and tricks on how to use PropStream in today's wholesaling environment. I'm going to break down 3 specific uses of PropStream. I'm going to teach you how to pull data. I'm going to show you how to use the quick lists, the ones that actually work. And then I'm going to show you how to pull a custom list. The next one is I'm going to show you the comp feature. I'm going to show you some little tricks that you can use to get more detailed comps so you can make more accurate offers. And then finally, I'm going to teach you how to pull cash buyers and the 2 different types of lists we use mostly. So guys, before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe notification button to continue to receive the best wholesaling information today. So the first thing we're going to do is teach you how to pull data. The first one I'm going to show you are the lists that are already built in. They're called the quick list. And what I'm going to do is show you through a screen share on how to easily find these. And I'm going to show you the most valuable list that you need to be pulling for your wholesaling business. So if you go over to the filter tab, you click that down and you'll see quick list choices. Click that arrow to the right and you're going to see a whole host of all these lists. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't use every one of them, but what I want to do is highlight my 3 favorite lists in here. And honestly, all you have to do is pick the market that you want to do it for. I'm going to pick somewhere in Tennessee, Hamilton County. And then I go to quick list and I'm going to show you my 3 vacant ones. One of my absolute favorite is vacants. And how do they get the vacant properties? It's kind of complicated. They actually get it from the United States Postal Service, which basically when the post carriers drive around and there's nobody there, they get a notification that the house is vacant. They report it to the HUD office and then the HUD distributes it to non-profit associations. Don't ask me how they get to PropStream at this point, but the key is these are a list of vacants. Now it's far from perfect, but I click that button and you'll see in this area, we have over 2,800 properties. And then what you can do is you can download this list. Remember, you get 10,000 downloads with your subscription to PropStream. So utilize every ounce of it. And then what you want to do from there is you can skip trace them. Now you do have a feature inside of PropStream. You can skip trace as low as 12 cents a lead. It is convenient. It's up to you if you want to use that service, but that's the first list. The next list that I really like, the next list is tired landlords. And this basically creates an algorithm for you and it's part of using the software and it's going to find rental properties that they've owned for a while that have the characteristics of what a landlord is. Now, I don't know all that criteria and how they do it, but I do know this list does work. And if you look under, I have over 36,000 properties. Now, what you can do is you can start with a quick list and then you can start using these filters over here on the left-hand side and go through it. So if you wanted to click here, you could click residential and then property types. You can do single families or like multis, which is what I like to do. You can start filtering the list down. You kind of see 36,000. Yes, that's a lot. And then if you want to just make sure on like all sorts of sizes, MLS status, I'm going to say no. MLS status, I'm going to say no. So it cuts it down a little bit. And you can keep going through these ownership information if you want to make sure they owned it for a minimum of at least say 3 years. And then we keep cutting it down. And you'll see if I go back and I do 4 years. Why? I like landlords that own it a long time because they tend to have more equity in it and the property gets much more tired. Use these filters. You can go all the way through it and then you do valuations. The last one, if you're in a market and you're trying to say under say 250,000, then put 250,000 on there and see that cuts the list down in half. And you can go through just a onslaught of filters. Start out with your quick list and then you can go over here and do all your valuations. Now, once you have that filter set and you're happy with it, you can actually save the filter. I'm going to show you my 3rd other quick list because I got a lot of information to go through. I'm with you. And if you look on this on your My Search, it'll give you a snapshot of all the filters you have in there right now. So when I do this, I'm going to switch from tired landlords to my next absolute favorite one, which is pre-probates. And why I like pre-probates is number one, PropStream's the only one I know that does this service is whenever there is a death event and that person on the death certificate owns a particular property in a county, it triggers what we call the pre-probate list. Why this is so valuable? Number one, the probates at your courthouse are still tremendously valuable because you can get them quicker than anyone by going to your courthouse or getting that online. But the pre-probates, when you have a death certificate and somebody owns a piece of property, is you can basically get a list of all properties where there's some sort of life event where somebody would sell it. Now, in the event of death, usually it has a high probability of being sold. But did you know that when somebody dies, not every property has to go through probate? Sometimes they're in a trust, sometimes they're in a special type of deed setting that is well outside my capacity that I don't even completely understand, where they can actually skip the probate process. Sometimes when you have joint ownership with rights to survivorships in particular states, the properties are homesteaded, they actually get excluded from probates. The only way you're going to find these is in this pre-probate filter. Go ahead and do that, and then you decide if you want to keep these filters. And if you want to change these filters, like say, I don't care about years of ownership in pre-probate. To be honest with you, I really don't care about values in pre-probates. And you see, as I eliminate a lot of them, the numbers keep going up, and I just want to make sure they're off market. So by using a combination of your quick list, which I gave you the 3 most recommended ones, the pre-probates, the tired landlords, and the vacant properties, hands down, are the best list. Now, on the vacant properties, I like to run it once a quarter because there's a lot of duplicates in there. Take that tip and kind of go from there. So let me show you how to simply do let's clear all. So if you want to start all over, let's figure out how to do a custom list. So what you can do is you can build your whole list. So I try not to overcomplicate this, but I'm going to run you through one of the most common ones we use, which is called a high equity. And I like to pull them for single family and multi. And then basically what I do is I run through this criteria. And what I'll do is all these details are inside of freewholesaling.com. So I'm just going to show you how to navigate through this. So the on market, I'm going to say no. And then the next one is my years of ownership. I like for people to own a property for at least 4 years or more. Sometimes I do 3, but a minimum of 4 years. Why? Because they're going to have some equity built into it. And that's honestly the easiest way to sort this list. Now, I keep moving on. I know I'm moving fast here. Valuations don't exceed your price points in these particular markets. So what I'll say is 250,000. You can set the market accordingly. So actually what I will do, since I did the same market, I'll do the exact same market. I'll do 220,000. And then let's see here. The biggest thing is equity percentage. So I want you to understand, in my 20 plus years of doing wholesaling on high equity, the sweet spot is always 40% or higher. You can go up to free and clear, which is going to be a much smaller crowd. But once you get in the 30s, you get a lot of drama. You got a lot of high mortgages, and there's very little room for the homeowners to negotiate because most of them don't even know what the value of their house is. So I find 40% being one of the critical filters when doing a high equity list. Now, I'm also going to show you another little trick that I've learned over the years is I don't want these owners to have 4 or more properties. You're probably thinking like, Rick, are you nuts? Like the more properties, the better. No, the reality is the more properties a landlord owns, the more skill sets they have and the more advanced they're going to be with negotiating you. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have an emotional attachment to the property and they will use your contract as leverage to get a higher offer. How do I know this? Because it's happened to me hundreds of times. So once they have 4 or more properties and you're a newer wholesaler, I would avoid them. Or if you want to deal with them, use this simple strategy. Ask them, tell me the one property you need to sell today. Give me your most tired vacant property and make an offer on it. If it doesn't work on that, then you don't have to worry about it. A lot of these people want these big, giant, bulk $1 million offers and they get really complicated. So simplify it. Sell me your one tired property you want to get rid of. And if we can make a deal on that, then we'll happily talk about the others. So I set the limit to 4. And then the last one is on owner type. And this is where a lot of people don't really understand it. Number 1, I like to do individual and I like to do a trust. Occasionally I'll do a mixed. I kind of mix it up, but it doesn't really matter. And just to let you know, I don't care if they're an absentee owner or that it's homeowner occupied. It doesn't matter to me. The old days we used to do absentee owner because we felt they were more motivated, and that rule no longer really works in 2023 wholesaling. So keep that in mind. So simply, I'm going to go over here. You can pick the county out. Let's go back to Hamilton County since I did it before. And from this filter, I came up with basically 8,300 properties. And then if you want to set your filters, you go back here, you see them all right here. And what you can do is if you want, you can save it, you can reset it. So you see this owner occupied, I always leave it at any. If you don't want to do that, you can go to no, and that's going to bring you all to the absentee owners. Honestly, I don't care because I find that personally owned properties, people make emotional decisions. I actually get better deals than I sometimes do with landlords. So this is how you do a custom list. I just gave you an example of a high equity. It's tried and true. It works. Just customize it for your particular market. So the next one we're we're going to do is talk about comps. So we have the ability to pull comps, and you guys have all seen what comps look like. I'll pull a basic one up here for you. It just gives you a quick snapshot of the value, last year it sold. It gives you the number of comparables, 26. See, that's a lot. And that's how you get these robust like numbers that honestly don't really help you figure out a value. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I've learned that works really well on PropStream. And what you want to do is compare apples to apples, and you want to get into the comps. So if we look at comparables in nearby listings, you can come over here, and what I advise you to do is match the data up. Just make sure it's all set. And this alone should get you what you need. As I said, 26 properties, it's too many. You're going to have to filter through that. But for time's sake, here's what I'm going to do is show you a little trick that I've learned to do. So what you can do is when you go and do the comps is what I'll do is zoom in on here, and you can slide it up. So let me zoom in. So I did a county. Let's try to do a particular property to try to figure out what's going on here. So what I'll do is pull up this property. And as you can see, you're going to have all the listings and all the numbers like that. If you notice down here, let me try to pull this up, this is your prompt competent. And you see all these outlying comps and stuff. I like to have a nice tight geographical area where I can do the comps. So just grab this little tool here. I know you guys are like, what the heck? And I finally know what that tool is about. So what you can do, wait, I lost my tool. Let me go back here, is just grab this tool and you can draw a boundary. So what I can do is, you see what I'm doing here? And then I click search. And then what that will allow you to do is get a tighter geographical area, and it'll give you a much more, so we boil it down to basically all these comps. And then what I would do is go make sure they match up number of bedrooms, where they sold. You can decide if you do them off MLS, if you do public records. I like to do all. So to me, I like to do both, leave it on that. And then this is going to give you a much more accurate comp. 150, give you a price per square foot, average number of days on the market. You probably didn't know what this tool for is. Like, guys, just using that geographical drawing will help you narrow it down. And then you can go over here to the specific comparable search tools and match everything up and try to keep everything within like a 10% range. Now, the other little trick I want to mention to you in this video, because I'm shooting this in 2023, is when you guys get these lists and you want to find the list with the most motivation possible, you can get your vacants, your tax delinquents, lien properties, you can get the pre-foreclosures, is you can use a technique called reverse driving for dollars. And that's basically taking these lists and then going out and mapping out the addresses for all of them and putting a yellow sticky note on it. And here's what I find: mix your message up on the sticky notes. Simplify it, but leave intrigue on why they're going to call you back. Hey, got a quick question about your house. Give me a call. It's Rick. Hey, it's John. Got a quick question for you. Make it seem like a friend stopped by and left a note on the door. You put a phone number on there. And guys, this works really well. So guys, to top it off in the driving for dollars, inside of listrei.com, it actually has an app that you can plan this all out and do it for driving for dollars. Go ahead and take it up on that because it's already included in your monthly service. And understand, you guys get 10,000 downloads per month. Make sure you use all 10,000 because you need a lot of volume when you get started in the wholesaling game. So the last technique I'm going to show you in PropStream is how to find your cash buyers. And we have two specific ways to find cash buyers. Let me walk you through and I'll do a quick screen share on how to locate them. So if we go back under our filters tab, this is actually going to be under your quick choices. So once again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel in wholesaling, especially in PropStream, because they've already done it for you. So the first one, I want to go down and just click cash buyers. Guys, this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not even going to walk you through the details on how to do it. You just find the geographical area you want to go, because I'm already at close to 25,000 cash buyers, and you can get into details what I like to do is find out the last 90 days of information. So you can customize your report and you can easily find them like that, and use your cash buyers. Once you get their information, you have to skip trace the phone number and reach out and contact them and go ahead and make sure you vet them. Remember, you need cash buyers. You don't need other wholesalers clogging up your list. So make sure you vet your cash buyers. Cash buyers is list number one. Let me show you the second list. Your second list are called flippers. And flippers is basically, once again, PropStream has figured out how to use the software to find people that have bought properties and resold them rapidly for a profit. Maybe not a profit, I'm not sure. But by using this flippers tab, it will sort that information for you. So all you have to do is sort. You can, once again, use the geographical area. You can narrow it down. You can pick the types of properties, the zip codes, everywhere you want to do. And this will target your rehabbers, your fix and flip people, the people off these TV shows shows that have all these pipe dreams. We want to sell them the vision. How do we do that? By using this flipping tab under the quick list choice, which you find under the filters. These two techniques will find you all the cash buyers you need. Make sure you use it accordingly. Once again, it's all included in your listrei.com account. Make sure you utilize it. Now, I can't end this live stream without telling you the list, honestly, that I don't like to use for wholesaling within PropStream. And I'm just going to kind of run through it for you. Number one, I never touch bank-owned properties. You're literally wasting your time here. This is an old technique that worked only when we had the worst market in the world in 2008 to 2010. Anyone tries to teach you this technique, avoid it like the plague. There's a lot of restrictions on those properties. You can't do assignment of contracts, and they limit you on the amount of profit you can make. Those reasons alone, I'm 100% out. The next one are auctions. I like to go to auctions to harvest cash buyers, and I like to physically do it. That's the best way to do it. If you think you're going to get a list of auctions off of a piece of software, unless you want to pay the most for the property, you really want to avoid this strategy. The next one is divorce. I don't know what to tell you. Divorce is bad. And in my experience in wholesaling, I've done divorce deals, but honestly, there's some of the hardest deals I ever do. And it's for obvious reasons. It's very hard to get two parties that are in disagreement to agree to sell a property at a discount. For this reason, and the statistical reason of doing it 20 years, I don't get a lot of deals out of divorce because it's hard. And the last one is bankruptcy. This is a court-appointed way for people to dissolve their liabilities when they're upside down. And honestly, to try to buy a property at a deep discount, you have to get a trustee's approval, and 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get it, and it's very hard, and you can't do an assignment of contract, and you have to put up all the funding with a proof of funds. These 4 lists, guys, are the ones I really want you to avoid. The ones I talked about and the rest of us, they are gold and they'll work for you. So remember, you have 3 primary strategies in focusing on doing PropStream. You want to be able to pull data. You can do your quick list, which I already showed you how to do it. I showed you how to do a custom list, specifically a high equity list. The next one, I showed you how to pull comps, showed you how to do a detailed graphical search. And then the third one is your cash buyers list. I showed you the 2 lists we use in the quick choices to find all the cash buyers you need. Guys, let me know, are you utilizing the strategies in day 9 of the 30-day wholesaling challenge? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. You hit that subscribe notification button to continue to receive the best information on wholesaling. This is Rick, and I'll see you guys soon.